Okay, what if I told you there's an animal that grows pure, solid bone so fast you can almost watch it happen? We're talking about the fastest growing tissue in the entire animal kingdom, period.
I'm talking about a prime moose in the middle of summer, packing on a full pound of antler every single day. Can you even wrap your head around that? A whole pound of bone?
Wait, hold on. Are you serious? From a biological efficiency standpoint, that sounds completely insane. How is that even sustainable? I mean, really, what is the point of burning all that energy on something you're just going to throw away in a few months? It makes no sense.
But that's because they aren't just any bone.
Look, antlers are pure bone, right? Not like horns. And while they're growing, they're covered in this fuzzy, blood-rich skin called velvet. It's like an external circulatory system just pumping nutrients into the growing bone. And yeah, they ditch them every single year. It's wild. No, listen to this part. The crazy cost is the entire point. It's what we call an honest signal. You can't fake it. To grow a massive rack of antlers, a buck has to be in perfect health, find the best food, have amazing genetics. It's the ultimate billboard that just screams, hey, my genes are so good, I can afford to build this ridiculous, expensive thing on my head. It's even directly tied to sperm quality.
Okay, fine. I get the signaling argument. But let's look at the actual biology here. Let's talk about the real cost. Because, expensive doesn't even begin to cover it. We're talking about a metabolic price tag that is just staggering. And that's where the whole strategy just falls apart for me. You have this high-risk, all-or-nothing pulsed investment. It's a total gamble every year. Now compare that to the bovid strategy with true horns, a permanent, slow and steady, continuous investment. It's just a fundamentally smarter, more sensible way to live.
Right here, this is my evidence. Look at the core differences. Antlers are pure, disposable bone. Horns, they've got a permanent bony core, sure, but it's covered in a keratin sheath, like your fingernails, that just grows and grows. They're built to last a lifetime, not for one season. It's a completely different design philosophy. Exactly. So the Antler is a high-risk tech startup. It burns through a crazy amount of venture capital, metabolic energy, for one massive product launch, the mating season. A bighorn sheep's horns, that's your blue chip company making slow, steady, reliable investments for long-term stability. Forget the analogies for a second. Let's stick to the numbers because they're even crazier. During that growth spurt, just building the antlers increases the animal's total energy requirement for the whole year by up to 16%. That is a massive, massive metabolic tax.
And the energy? That's the easy part. Where do they get the raw materials? We're talking over 25 grams of calcium and 12 grams of phosphorus per day. They literally cannot eat enough plants to meet that demand. It is physically impossible.
So what do? And this is the part that gets me. They dissolve their own skeletons. I am not being metaphorical. They develop a temporary physiological osteoporosis, actively pulling calcium and phosphorus straight out of their own ribs and other bones, just to build the antlers. They're literally eating themselves from the inside out for a seasonal ornament. It's madness. Okay, I will concede that dissolving your own ribs is a bit extreme. But you're totally missing the ecological context. The bovid strategy is for a completely different lifestyle. It's a defensive strategy, not just a reproductive one. I mean, think about it. A bison living out on the open plains needs permanent defense year-round. It can't afford to be unarmed for half the year, so it makes a conservative, lifelong investment in horns. A deer in a dense, seasonal forest? It doesn't have that same constant predator threat. It can afford to go all in on a short-term, flashy display for mating, and then just drop the weight to survive the winter. And what happens when that all-in strategy goes too far? You get the Irish elk, right? The ultimate cautionary tale. The poster child for when this high-risk gamble goes catastrophically, horribly wrong. Exactly. So this is the real question, isn't it? Is this thing proof that the whole antler strategy is just a maladaptive mistake, an evolutionary dead end where sexual selection just runs amok until it literally kills the species? A mistake? Look at that. 3.5 meters. That's almost 12 feet wide. That is not a mistake. That is the most magnificent peak expression of this biological strategy the world has ever seen. It's absolutely breathtaking. And that whole maladaptive idea is based on old science. That's the theory of orthogenesis. This idea that evolution just gets stuck on one track and drives itself right off a cliff. But modern analysis shows something much smarter is happening. It's called constrained selection. Yeah, sexual selection pushes for bigger and bigger antlers, but physics and metabolism push back. Evolution puts the brakes on before it becomes lethal. The Irish elk didn't die because its antlers got too big. It died because its entire high-cost lifestyle couldn't handle the climate changing at the end of the Ice Age.
But all of this, the cost, the size, the evolution, it all misses the most mind-blowing part of the story. The part that goes way beyond being some weird animal fact. We've been arguing about the cost, but we haven't even talked about the miracle, which is the regeneration.
I mean, think about it. A deer regrowing a massive, complex, fully vascularized, nerve-filled bony organ every single year. That is the only known case of large-scale organ regeneration in any mammal. That includes us. A perfect replica grown from stem cells in just a few months. It's incredible.
And this is how it works. The old antler falls off, and boom, stem cells in the base, that little nub called the pedicle, get the signal. They activate. They start proliferating at an absolutely explosive rate, turning into bone, cartilage, nerves, blood vessels, the whole shebang, a complete, fully formed structure. It's perfect, every single time.
Okay, now this is interesting, because when you look at the genomics of it, that explosive cell proliferation, it looks disturbingly familiar. The genes involved in that super fast growth, they share pathways with osteosarcoma, bone cancer. In essence, antler growth is biologically similar to a tumor, but one that's perfectly, and I mean perfectly, controlled.
Yes, exactly. That's the secret. It is a form of controlled cancer. Deer have evolved these unbelievably robust tumor-suppressing genes that let them turn on this insane, tumor-like growth to build an organ and then just turn it right back off again without getting sick. They've weaponized cancer for regeneration. And if we can figure out that genetic on-off switch, I mean, think about the applications. We could learn how to treat bone disorders, maybe even regenerate bone after severe trauma. Don't forget osteoporosis. They have to have cracked the code for rapidly remineralizing their entire skeleton every single year. If we could figure that out, it would be a game changer for human medicine.
So it completely reframes the whole argument. It's not just an expensive ornament, it's a living laboratory for regenerative medicine. Which really makes you wonder, right? If an animal can evolve to harness the power of cancer for good, what other biological impossibilities are just sitting out there waiting for us to find?